Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
.30 from we New Englandville studios. Good morning and welcome to the second edition of the program Good Morning Salon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.0 FM. Today na Tuesday, July 9th, 2019. Where they bring the program come to you this Tuesday morning, Mina Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Mebel Kaba. Good morning. Inside this edition of the program Good Morning Salon, the President, Dr. Julius Madabio, don assure Salon people say if the economy improve past how it is now, government go buy more bus them for reduce the transportation challenge them. One first-time Director General for NATCOM, Mohammed Bangra, don testify at the Commission of Inquiry say, now one board member and a NATCOM, Frank Manja, been pressure am for give the TS company the contract for supervise the new NATCOM building at Hill Station. And inside the program this morning, Radio Democracy will talk to the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform, IGR and Valley, where they can talk about the building resilience leadership in difficult transitions and one documentary way named Beyond the Noise, where IGR and then part of them pull out this PNTM.
Well, this and plenty other story them, then at the program for you this Tuesday morning. Plus, we go look inside the 50 school bus them where President Bio inspect yesterday. And work about 7 inside the program for you this morning. Members say they listen to we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by Afisel. The program na Good Morning Salon. You can same way so send we message on 077 981 981 077 981 981. Now the number for send you message and yourself go be part of the program this morning.
The first issue we look at the program now outside the mama for 10-year-old girl Pekin. Don't call on police for fen and arrest 45-year-old man where he alleged say rape in 10-year-old girl Pekin. This mama talk this story the democracy where even they explain, but how this 45-year-old man been do mommy enter the business with him Pekin and run away. We reporter Wani Gauja gets more on this and gonna reports.
So now let me in bed 9 time and time with food. It's a big talk in private.
Voice of 10-year-old Pekin, where he be the explain how one Isaac Taylor, where he alleged say the work na Seratel office, be do mommy and daddy business with him through a month. This BNTM na off College Road by Congo Cross. But waiting really be happen to this Pekin.
That day they were come out school and mama say make a book me socks. Now in canto mama, he say okay, he say Ali man go study today. Now mama say I need a book first. He say we say the no book. So we don't book now it's now go there. I go there that me might not be they give me for go study. So now I say my Canada, but I said Canada, so I don't know what thing be online and I don't know what thing we get now and I'm past per minutes. When past per minutes now, I feel weak. I feel weak now, I lay me now in bed, now I put by me pants. When put by me pants now, then put in private by me. When put in private by me thing now, when I pull up by me thing, then put on my mouth.
But this according to the mama for this 10-year-old Pekin, he say after where this Isaac Taylor we don't they disturb am say he want go study this Pekin. And notice say this Pekin don't go stay long this term. So he decide for go look out for him Pekin.
Isaac be the morning me by then 6 o'clock for let we go study me Pekin. Because if you don't say what me Pekin no sabi, and they help him. He study now me Pekin go study. Where this man don't pass with me Pekin, go lay down with me Pekin. I go now, I go inside now. I meet, he put in private for the Pekin month. I go for go look for me Pekin if it's something do am. Bio and don't come on ado. He don't run. My sister then now one long can now follow can watch for the man now. We not see am. Dear me at the beg any outside man did. Dear made them pull and do.
This mama don't raise serious concern say from where that man do mommy and daddy business with this in Pekin. He notice say the man don't lost na the area and self they don't do all kind thing for fend this man but not able for see am. Where we make a goal statement. Na the man in office na Seratel. But say the boss them where he meets they be one for bribe am.
And right now the way in Fenfel, we not see and Seratel office na they work. A big man they say na IT na they do. In big brother there, in boss man there, all the way in Fen there, they want go to we money business. Myself and I allow that money business when they go to we. Myself now say me who that me want see because this man I don't give me stain na the area. He make right now my man don't drive me na house and streets na there because the man say na me na the causer make me picking the like today he can't do
After
so.
this mama don notice say in one for lost this case, make e be go lay this statement na the Congo Cross police station. We be make her ask the sergeant where they look inside this case, Sergeant Charles Conte, and he confirmed to me say this case dey na police station and then sef dey look out for this man. As dem don dey look na some side dem forget this man, dem no able get access to am. Wey this is say if they able find this man, dem go able for investigate this case and give justice to this pikin. For Radio Democracy, me na Waniga Oja.
The program na Good Morning Salon and the time for my studio clock na 7:36 and as soon as earlier from we headline them we go look inside the 50 school bus them where President Bio inspect yesterday. But 6 months now, the Ministry of Transport and Aviation been signed contract with the Alia Best Enterprise and Company for bring 50 school bus them we cost over $4 million. Well, over the weekend, them bus here Canton and the Minister of Transport and Aviation be received them bus here, and yesterday the bus them been they na Freetown as the ministry be want let people see the bus them and later been go with them na State House for let President Bio go inspect them. Well, for can talk more about them bus here na the studio, I want for welcome Hindolo Shiaka in a Director Transport Infrastructure Development Unit at the Ministry of Transport and Aviation. Good morning, Mr. Shiaka, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Khadija, and good morning, listeners.
And again, as soon as from we other headline, na the studio, I want for welcome Andula Valley, in the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform (IGR), as them being pulled na do the building resilience leadership in difficult transition, and one documentary we name Beyond the Noise. We can look at this documentary and some of the things them where they inside the report where IGR pulled na do this BNTM. Good morning, Mr. Lavalier. Welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Good morning, Salon.
Good morning, Khadija and Mabel, and good morning, listeners.
All right. We'll start with you, Hindolo Shaka from the Ministry of Transport.
Sure.
About 6 months, the ministry been signed contracts on behalf of the Salon government with the Aliabes company for bring 50 bus them. First, let's start for look how the contract came about and how the Aliabes enterprise end up for win this contract for bring the bus them.
Thank you, Khadija. Morning, Mabel. Well, it's simple. There was a public procurement. We tender the buses publicly, and various companies there, of course, bid as usual. The evaluation team evaluate, and the contract was awarded to Aliabes. So it was an open, competitive bidding for the 50 buses.
So now we're going to look at that time for unable for no say this particular company not able for meet with targets and what we want for see at the end of the day.
Clearly, we'll be the look at experience and companies that we don't get experience in dealing with public transportation, particularly. As you are aware now, the first structured program this will they get on school buses. You go don't see school bus rights span buses, but a program where they target pupils. This not the first time. So we'll be one start from a very strong point of a company we don't get experience in dealing with buses, how these buses then will be sustained, and we get the experience for understand the technicalities of bringing them buses, and the Aliabes in company proved.
What do you mean that the first program this where they target school pupils them for get buses?
Well, I talk about the formal structure what we call school buses, we're dedicated wholly to pupils.
Waiting at this structure.
Well, when you say school bus program, we just know they go buy bus, we dump them. We they look at the program from A to Z. How we they train the drivers, how we they maintain these buses, how we they target the pupils, the routing of them buses, and how we they work with the various stakeholders them. We as such as the program go on, we go articulate more on that. But I mean structured because the buses they are dedicated for pupils and nothing else. Period. We'll say school bus now school bus, after school in the park. So that is what I mean by a structured program where they target the school bus system. We also they look at how you they drive picking them, because the way we they drive picking them completely different from how you they drive adults. and the mannerism, how the comportment of the drivers and get for be for manage them, PKA will get for train them in first aid, but we also get for train them in temper management as well, because picking them can be a bit rowdy in our bosses. Even yesterday when we did at the bosses, they were so excited. But you get for manage them as a driver with different from, not expect the attitude of adults from picking them. So then training program here they take place, but also how you they maintain school buses. Who are the stakeholders, the way they deploy the buses. For instance, we'll go through the program, you go see, I will talk about the councils, how the Ministry of Transport, they interact with local government, with education, and with the local council for deploy this structured school program. So Khadija, now that I mean by structure.
So this school program where you dey talk about now specific units within at the ministry, or not just the same people where they do the normal Ministry of Transport and Aviation work, they involve in this?
Well, to start with, we not to the Ministry of Transport, they implement them on a daily basis. These buses they be distributed throughout the country to the various local council and at the district headquarter towns them. You and me go realize, say, 50 buses just a drop in the ocean when it comes to school buses throughout the country. By just rough calculation based on with statistics, you need about at minimum of about 500 buses if you want to run school buses throughout the country. We go cover over 80% to 90% of schools and population density for pupils. So we they start this like a pilot where they run throughout all the councils, and we learn and collect data and scale this up. How we scale them up, we go talk about that later. But this, of course, the ministries from day one for go. We always say some functions don't be devolved to local councils, and that program they don't be aired over 98, not once. So we are going with the spirit of that, and then we engage the council, but Ministry of Transport not they completely disengage, because the technical capacity for managed public transportation still is within the Ministry of Transport and in parastatals. So we they support the local councils them in deploying them buses here. And one way would they do, and would they sign a contract with them in terms of some regulatory standards. So I will stop here for now.
Over $4 million investments, I don't go into them 50 school bus there. Somebody go dey eager for know how the Ministry of Transport, where be they represent government in signing this contract. Yeah. How are able for arrive at this $4 million amount for the 50 school bus them?
Well, you know, all the buses come in 3 different types. We get 25, 24-seater, and 25 standing. We get 15 26-seater and about I think 29 standing, and then we get 34-seater and 30 standing. Now all of these buses get them length, the breadth, and then technical specifications. So within the ministry, the procurement, the transports, the road safety, the road transport corporation, the road safety look at these technical specifications, and then we determine within our own, what you go call, we own price based on such of the different manufacturing companies. But then, of course, we arrive finally at them prices here based on the bidders, they own the most responsive bidder. In fact, the price was slightly higher by the most, so we negotiated with the bidder based on the specifications for arrive at the budget where government be done set based on the search we'll make.
So this money for the bus them now from taxpayers' money, right?
Yes, this is fully funded by the government of Sierra Leone.
So for the purpose of clarity's sake, Mr. Shaka, earlier they talk about prices. You can just quickly tell listeners them approximately the 3 different type of buses them where you don't name, so how much each one go cost?
For the unit prices, honestly, not there with that data not there with me right here. Per se, one of the bus system, I don't get that data, to be honest with you. That can be provided, but the totality comes to that. I not get the data for the unit cost here.
All right, so we'll come back to you. We can look at how governments get for pay for them bus there from the taxpayers' money. When they continue the program, Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Where they can out to other studio guests and Rula Valley. If people only follow the work of the Institute for Governance Reform IGR. You're going to say they do different reports them as to how governance issues them they carry on at the country, and they know they pull the reports there for let people know some panditin them where government don't they do for improve the governance structure. Well, and Ula Valley they can talk about one recent report we then do where now the building resilience leadership in difficult transition, and self one other documentary we then call Beyond the Noise. Good morning one more time, Mr. Lavalley.
Yeah, good morning.
You there today for talk about two things then.
Yes.
The report and the documentary.
Yes.
First, let me start for look at building resilience leadership in difficult transition reports. How una come about for put that reports they together?
Thank you very much. Well, basically, are the same things as you introduced rightly with IGR can they do. We every 3 months we look at a particular topic, we reflect on them, and we collect information, we analyze that information, and we publish. And that's what IGR can they normally do. The building resilience leadership in difficult transitions. We all know what's been on they happen. Like last month in May, we see like the shooting at APC office, the tear gas we then send it. We see the thing will happen at court with 10 opposition MPs, well then strike them off Parliament. So it has been a difficult transition from APC to SLPP. But what we decide for do as an institute, we decide for look back at President Nkrumah and President Kaba, then first 24 months, the first 12 to 24 months, how the regimes then can look like and how they respond to the challenges there. Because within President Bio, the challenge where they face now, of course, even a little different, but they're not new.
How different President Bio and Yombi?
When you look at President Kaba in period, he not been get like a standby big party way for replace him. It be the fight with the rebels. So it be the fight now armed forces now then being in opposition if you like. So like now only after we get President Nkrumah, where he gets SLPP as an opposition, now we'll begin to see say the fight between political parties is really heightened because there was one party way they on standby for replacing Comping. So I think say now the difference. But the biggest difference in President Bio in your time, inside this is not the first time for law we get an opposition, we get a big majority in a parliament. And Law just imagine APC be win speakership. Say we president and vice president no day. The speaker nine for be president. So you go actually sworn in an APC president in an SLPP government. So facing them challenge them, and we don't want to face them challenge it. Inside England it can happen, they can get what they call a hung parliament, where one party they get clear majority. So what they can do, they can collaborate and coordinate with minority groups for letting form government. With constitution not they so. So waiting we see they play out well something that we inability for let we face difficult transitions. Now I make the report center around that, and we try forget lessons from President Nkrumah the way he faced in transition, lessons from President Kaba the way he faced in transition, and how you go inform the current day.
Inside this on a report, excuse me, on a talk about different things them way ex-president Nkrumah been do, we according to on a report where on a poll, some of them things they be affect in governance structures them till it even get spillover. So we don't come on a power. So take with through the thing they wanna fair not say. I've been decisions them way ex-president Nkrumah they make at that time way hamburging governance according to what's in another report.
I think say you find for preface President Nkrumah in the way he respond to the way President Kaba respond. President Kaba not to be insane. One of the reasons we make SLPP come on a power, in fact, now because of corruption. But when you watch the way President Kaba handle things like cohesion, right from the first time where he came to office, he actually make he bring the country together under him. In fact, now that make he even get like 70% where he stand for re-election. Tijan Kaba military, Johnny Paul, say they overthrow him. So even though they overthrow him, after he come up from Conakry, he not turn around talk say the one day they overthrow me at the pool in the army. He make them get voluntary, the international community support, and they get voluntary dispatch packages. Without one retire. So because of that, he be able to draw down the military from 14,500 to 10,500 without hassles. And you've been watching. A lot of people can praise President Kaba because of the way he forgive the military, he forgive the RAF we fought against them. But over and beyond that, not the way he build consensus and
So how
cohesion.
it different from waiting?
I think say after that one day, this na story with everybody. I don't want really for critique.
No, for let people know waiting they na the reports.
Okay.
As now we they discuss.
So you can see like under President Nkrumah, he actually replaced Tijan Kaba intolerance with some degree of intolerance. One of the things then we actually lead to the divide and not to we own report. If you watch like Amnesty International their accounts, like by 2009, you can get around 200 opposition supporters, them with perceived supporters of APC, SLPP that were dismissed from many positions, and you can see say like the same Amnesty International report back say you see that inquest where they talk about say they do inquest into extrajudicial killings in 1992. It make the Boku people in our SLPP then feel say them party candidates when President Bio at the time now in the non target. So according to that report of Amnesty, say in fact it increased the division between the political party. Historically, Sierra Leone, SLPP and APC northeast, northwest, well southeast, northwest, that division be done there. So at any time you get leadership, that leadership get for be conscious say there is a division and I get for take conscious steps for let Mende and Timni then sit down together, the diamond will then get let them share them, let all man get. I think say that one day nine have been the biggest oversight and now we talk say spillover up to this moment. Now you see elements of tit for tat they come.
And this report look at lessons from two former presidents, them President late Kaba of blessed memories and former President Nkrumah. Talking about transition period, where you look at the different transition of them two presidents there, you go notice say a different. Waiting the report discover say now some of the things them we lacking, where presidents be not able for do it for go into a smooth transition.
I think say the biggest thing we're lacking for we now the absence of accountability for results. You dey see say a lot of people in the talk say, no, this man and Mende man they don't put in a position. No, this person and Timni man they don't pull, they don't bring out Mende man. That conversation go persist as long as we know able Sierra Leonean and able know say that person where them put there now for buy 50 balls. He buy the 50 balls, the counter the ask what my colleague guest now, what's not the cost of that guest of that boss? Is it value for money?
But most people believe say again this absence of accountability they try for define so not to today it begin.
Exactly. So in fact now that make this report it actually preface very well with beyond the noise. So all of them things that we then confusion how we they see fet among political parties, it is meant for let few people then just get the benefit for waiting they happen. So now that make we not they push more for accountability for results, because the moment you say they build an effective accountability framework and not to only for develop waiting with man they call indicators we known by government, but let the public know say the Ministry of Transport for get 20 bus for 50 bus this year, and at $4 million we don't give them for buy 50 bus, then buy them, they not buy them. So the moment we push conversation that way there, waiting will happen. Most of them fet here then will be minimized, and waiting will happen. We will see the state they become productive. But like how Khadija say, over time the state has been consumptive. The state with people in the fet for going to power because they want for consume, they want for they are the hem for distribute, not to at the hem for produce. So the moment you don't create an environment where they get accountability for results, then they show say you there for produce, you're not just there for consume.
So creating that environment the way they talk about, now who that's then we they expect this from?
Now the office of the chief minister principally, and of course this is the first time they don't create that office, and in fineless Sierra Leoneans then put that office under microscope very well. This now it's been a year now, and we thank God right now they see some pleasant names like Dr. Ngaima and others, and they go now the office. But if that office not team up strong for make sure say every sector get accountable performance standards, you know what thing go happen? We could always affect we self. I think saying that one thing I know clearly come it from that office. And that the more we see that, the more we see State House they become close.
This
Yes.
sound for draw down to thing that we get for do with waiting the ministries, the departments and agencies then they do at the end of the day for the public. But when they take up their office and then they sign performance contract with the president.
You don't want to see them?
May not see them, but then they sign performance contract.
So
with
you
the
don't even
president.
know if there's
so you're not realistic from civil society angle.
No, you don't. Would I don't want to see performance contract?
So you're not realistic.
So if performance contract day, people in every day, people in they go na Rwanda. The difference between all this thing, how they talk about Rwanda, then growth, then development, because Kigami make rigorous performance contract known to the public. If you did not that local council, like we my colleague they talk say that bus should be managed. McKinney they know say we don't send 3 bus for school picking them. We'll get for manage them. So it's clear. So then resources there where they come for public. It's public. Now that make in fact maybe we'll get for come to that later. Where some people they talk say the ex-president Nkrumah really not for come account for the way he distributes, he expend resources. I think say that in a nonsense. Because where you don't rule people or where they rule people and public resources they get.
But handing over notes can they the president can give to the incoming where they explain how and waiting it been do under your tenure. Handing over notes.
Yes, standing and seeing your handing over notes, but really where you don't hand over most important now where you really get an independent observation of how you able account for his stewardship.
Andrew, you make mention of the chief minister in office when at the first time this would see such kind of office they exist, and you say citizens them for put this office under microscope. But again, I don't know if you are aware of this saying where plenty citizens they know they say some of them public official there, so as soon as they assume office for see them now one and even forget access to this office for let the citizens then get information about waiting they go on at their office, then it can be a very difficult task. So how the citizen then go able to put such kind of office under microscope if not a very close office for even see the person in charge is difficult?
Yes, I think say one of the things that we would do now IGR with actually they publish a biometer, and we they say this publicly because the biometer is divided into 3 strands. You get the economic governance, you get the political governance, then you get governance of human development services. So where you get health, education, and then so you see say the political governance where really not the domain like what they say of the chief minister, it's really weak. Like you see say President Bio in economic governance front, he actually robust. In fact, when you look at economic governance team across Africa now, President Bio gets one of the strongest economic governance team. So if you get one sector where if it creates openness, like for example the situation at parliament, yes, you get it could have been avoided. So we actually need for law get engagement, to get consensus, we get consultations for law make sure say teamwork for turn to disaster to monster, we avoid them.
Just like how you say citizen for put this particular office under microscope, during when they launch this report, one thing will come out clearly now this particular office again. Also you say they call on the chief minister for ensure say tribalism now one way not for mixing governance, especially in the way how then they allocate job to people them for give job to competent people and not only political party supporter them.
Exactly. So you can see say we get for ask yourself, and this back they bring me to this whole thing where we always talk say we go now Rwanda. The story of Rwanda and Sierra Leone, they are more or less the same, because both of them, one get genocide, the other one gets a big problem. So after that one day, Kigame no talk say we the Hutus or we the Tutsis, now we they get position, that one and they get position. So and now that make a return to what we call this result-based management. If you not get result-focused management, for let people and say, you know what, I can go take that position because I'm able to deliver results. You know what with the result, so we go only result to a situation where people and go say, not only you tribe or you party, now go make you get access to jobs. And if we continue, you go really see say Sierra Leone go crash. So waiting, we go to focus on the noise.
But this is
So-
one common accusation we don't come up.
Exactly. So we go to focus on the noise. We go to talk say no, I don't make road, I don't do this, I don't do this. But the fundamental challenge we Sierra Leone gets now for them Mende man and Timni man, then you don't say Yahweh God put we the diamond, the gold, everything that God now we get them. Let's distribute them. Let's just finish on this point. If you look around this country, you go see say many Sierra Leoneans they actually enjoy them God-given resources. It appears if this we economy is largely foreign driven. So for let government change the fortunes of the country, the most important thing now for build a cohesive society.
All right. In case you just tune in, you listen to Andula Valley, the executive director for Institute for Governance Reform Media this morning. It talk about building resilience leadership in conflict transition. We na report where IGR puna do this BNTM, and later in the program we will talk about another documentary we then call Beyond the Noise. And self we get Shaka Hindolo, we na director of Transport Infrastructure Development Unit from the Ministry of Transport and Innovation. They talk about the 50 school bus the way governments don't buy and they don't bring come na the country. Would they go now and take this short commercial break? Would they come and continue with the program?
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all you supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
The program is still listening to now. Good morning, Salon. They come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.0 FM. We will look at other issues of the program now. Outside the president, Dr. Julius Madabio assure Salon people say governments go buy more bus them for reduce the transportation challenge where the economy improve pass away now. President Bio talk this na State House Monday, July 8th, where even they inspect the 50 school bus them where government through the Ministry of Transport don't bring na the country for complete the free quality education program. Mohammed Sharif gets more on this and go reports.
The President, Dr. Julius Madabio, inside in state opening of Parliament inside May this year, have been promised for provide school bus them for tap the plenty challenge them with school picking them don't they get, and self push the free quality education na the country. We make over the weekend government through the Ministry of Transport and Aviation bring about 50 school bus them for fulfill the president in promise for complement the free quality education where they carry on at the country now. Alpha Timbo, the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, been tell me waiting this me for education as Salon.
When the bosses just represent the character of the president. When he launched the free quality school education program, he makes significant pronouncements. Among them, he say first he will abolish admission and tuition fee, where he be done do for government and government assisted school. Secondly, he say that they purchase then core textbooks. That has been done. He say they supply teaching and learning material to the schools them. That we don't do. He say they pay for the NPSC, then became was exam. That we have done. Check up or make sure say them begin and start for get Boston. So he talk he make sure he coordinates with the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Transport and Aviation, the National Public Procurement Authority. All them and they collectively work for make this what you happen so today. And me as a Minister for Basic and Senior Secondary Education, I'm very much happy.
But our government plan for shape them bus here. Cabinet Kalon, the Minister of Transport and Aviation.
As a ministry, we are excited. We will make sure, as what the President be saying in the last stage of opening of Parliament, that the councils then, and they get for control this bus, supervised by the ministry. As you know now, school they close. Before school open, all buses go do what they're supposed for them. Where time reach, how we distribute them, women let all man know say, Karao, Kedema, Bo, Pujong, Moyamba, Magwoka, Western area, urban and rural, we know how many buses they go. We will make sure say every student enjoy this facility. But for now, we put all the system in place before school opens in September.
But the concern with some people don't get but government property them. Now for monitor and maintenance them. We make have been asked the Deputy General Manager na the Salon Road Transport Corporation, Paul Hingatoka.
The corporation, in nexus with the councils, get for sit down and work out a proper maintenance program and an agenda as to how to monitor the buses, which kind of fuel they consume, the geographical spread of them, how the terrain they get for them, and how the drivers then get for the discipline vis-a-vis the approach to the students that will get on board. So what would they do? With the rollout program, which is our programs or designs where the council then go get for use for me to ensure these buses are well protected, then go by the strict maintenance manual, and there is a proper due diligence monitoring mechanism over there for the sustainability.
Jacob Jesus Safana, the Minister of Finance, where in ministry gather the couple for Biden bus here. Been tell me how much one per them bus here cost.
First of all, yes, government save because the method where the government acquire the bus is through a competitive process. We tender out the buses. We bring that for cushioning the impact of increasing fuel price on school children for transportation. Each of these buses can cost very competitive, about $90,000 or thereabouts. And it's far less than $125,000 what they buy a few years ago.
Where they talk to different school picking them na free tongue. Teachers, government workmen, and other people. After we don't inspect body 50 bus them for see if they reach the standard way government they look for. The President, Dr. Julius Madabio, say this now for make sure say the picking them land better book na the country.
At the end of it all, we want may affect the outcome. We get for talk to the picking them, may then some know say some of the things that way they not like when I for study, then do them. Because one of them tell me say instead of I give them free education, make them make better they cheat, and then they will not agree. We they give them all of this, but we make sure say they study so that we go get a better future. Everything what they do now, not for ourselves, not for the one they are. So for give them all the support, and these are one of the support them.
President Bill end up assure say in government go bring more bus them na the country as the economy they grow.
By the grace of God, when the economy done better, we go make them better more. We want for them to enjoy. Elsewhere in the world, now boss they take them and bring them come back. If we not hold them fine, we not not cut, they sit there, we not make sure they look fine. Say we not done, we not school, we not know say we not get reliable service from the house to the school, from the school back to the house. So this really not the government gets it again. Now we not get them, so we not go promise say we not go take good care also. And we not promise say we not go land also. Yes. Okay.
But waiting at the things them where government plan for the do. For make the promise where President Pio don't do, go all water. Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandy na the press secretary and presidential spokesman.
Now, for put that into context, we take off a government and economy way be bankrupt, nothing on it. So, by the limited thing the way we save the get from taxes the way they raise, from the revenue way they mobilize, and also people and goodwill them donors the way they support. And the president, the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, the future, what will they say with the do?
But waiting at the things them where the picking them have return, been think about this development. Get the democracy been fan out.
Maria Khadija Samai, Yaniwas Memorial School. This na rainy season. The buses today we're so happy that they don't available for we all.
Constance Gomez John, my name na Aisha Sise. We mama them, we auntie them, we uncle them. Therefore appreciate what the government to do for me.
Usman Lamin, the Albert Academy Junior Secondary School. Transportation business for school ticket and not be there in the good mood. For now, as the government don't come, don't bring for them bus here, sell and senki, as it don't reduce transportation issue, for me school picking them go left for snap na street.
Get the democracy go continue for monitor how them bus here they operate na the country. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Ahmed Sharif, the report. We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon. We come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We come back to you, Hindolo Shaka, Director, Transport Infrastructure Development Unit, at the Ministry of Transport and Innovation. Now, let me look at some of the structures them where as a government don't put in place. One for monitor them buses there, because not today people and begin here say government and they bring buses for ease transportation problem, but the monitoring now one we can be challenged. 50 buses they don't can now will now dedicate them to school picking them. How government go ensure say on a monitor them bus there for let the movements go be sustainable?
Thank you, Khadija. Before I answer that, I will answer. I quickly want to go back to the question of the unit prices.
Because, don't get the
price
now?
Because it's important that the public know.
Right.
The buses, as I say, cost, the total contract price was 4,980 million, 4,980,000. But that includes the import duty of 5%, withholding tax of 5.5, the GST of 15%, the ECOWAS levy, where you total that, it comes to 1.335. So effectively, waiting go to the contractor is 3.6 million. When you average that, the average unit price comes to $72,800 per bus. And as I said, these buses have both 24 up to 34 seaters, but the total capacity of the lowest is 50. The highest will take 65 pupils, because you get standing capacities then at the buses as well. So I mean, let that go out to the public in terms of the prices there. In terms of getting brand new buses to this country, this is the cheapest to date.
So what's the standard of them bus here where you compare to the money when I put spanner?
Oh, it's value for money. You can independently verify the prices of brand new buses of the kind quality what they talk about, because it is not just buses. Buses then live on different ranges. But this come with a disabled ramp. This come with a fully air-conditioned system with a CCTV on board, with a driver panel with a touch screen and electronics.
Which are the lifespan of them bus there?
The buses, the average for between 3 to 5 years. The smaller ones, and then you get the bigger ones, and that they clearly not the contract. But because now school buses, the minimum requirement we would look at, but where we go back to answering your question, we want to get them all for run for at least 5 years. But and that they take me into the question of the maintenance
and
structure.
The monitoring.
And the monitoring.
For they in charge of the bus them, we camp and monitoring.
Well, it's a two-pronged approach. We get an oversight monitoring. We go continuously rest with the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, and we state-owned enterprises. But then we get the daily administration. We go live with the councils, because the local councils, they run them buses here. Now we don't, like you rightly say, not to today the knowledge come to we. So we be done they discuss in detail. One of the things we put in place, we key na the payment system. They get a payment system with cashless for them picking them. Where they get where they go preload na them card where you go use for pay on the buses. Where they completely pull that way, they can put 1,000 euros na conductor in hand throughout the bus, the councils. And then payment system here with a set up and a clear escrow account usai where you collect electronically the money they go na the system. Now I make from now to September, this go be deployed, because we don't begin the arrangement already. That na just on the payment system.
So now pay the picking and go for the pay for use the bus?
Yes. Again, this need for be clear. Not to free bus, but we do them on a cost recovery basis. You know, what we get for do now for let we be clear that when you get an asset, you get forget way for sustain and without putting undue burden as well on the consolidated fund.
So how the payment structure they like? The payment structure, waiting and go for the pay, almost.
Well, then they go be clearly, these are waiting already with the in tune with the local councils, with the Ministry of Education, and to determine cost recovery go mean, for example, and this is an example, if we say the bus routes they come out from, say, Lumley, all the way they can FSSG and Convent area, for example, you say now the market price is 1.5, cost recovery go say, okay, let the pupils then pay 1,000.
Mr. Indolo, una as a ministry, we they in charge of transportation business in the country. Now, I don't bring 50 buses for school picking them, and now local council therefore they in charge for monitor them buses there.
No, for run them.
For run them.
Yes.
Somebody go say a brilliant idea for the government sit down and say, okay, we need for ease the transportation stress from student them. But this particular sector, the local council, we for can monitor them buses there. They don't come to the public. Then say don't they cry some of them challenges them and transportation now one. How you feel say the local council go able monitor them particular buses there, and people not go begin hearing issues we don't the way camp and buses them break down, and especially for collect the money them.
Khadija, is a brilliant question, and the challenges of some of the councils them is not a secret. And that is why in my earlier response to your earlier questions, I said the Ministry of Transport, Education, local government, not the pull hand by the bus monitoring. And so part of the structure will be they ask us how we ensure sustainability is the one that we they clearly put terms of reference for the local councils by one, training the transport officers. Number two, the drivers, the way they come out from the different regions, then they be trained in how to use the bus. But again, I link this to the payment system. The reason we were very deliberate when we talk about a centralized pool outside the money then they go, so that we get a clear maintenance regime where we they follow and monitor. We don't already engage private sector for bring the spare parts them within the stock. The bus they come with their own initial spares. 2 containers there on the high seas where they come. We come as part of this price as well. But over and beyond, we they get a private sector who don't already begin engaged to say, you can stock key parts then.
So another investment in spare parts.
Not to we they do. That's why I
What
explain. The private sector they come with them. And they put in money, they go ship them.
Una buy, una go for buy them.
But of course.
So now another investment in spare
no,
parts.
then they come out of the running. That's where this link they to say you get forget cost recovery. That is why we they follow the money, because when you pay 1,000 or when you pay whatever the price would they talk about, you the money then they for be monitored for use for buy fuel, for pay the drivers, for ensure say timely repairs then be done, and a repair is as good as the authenticity of the parts we available. So government not they go take money now the consolidation for go begin buy spare part and can stock. We know they go down that route. We they get the private sector. My brother and I am Mr. Lavalier and co. Go and say, I get the parts, then I the fuel filter, the diesel filters, then they. Where government and local council then want use an Probola, we they buy an aya, so then send and go Probola.
Right.
We get mobile vehicles the way they go do the repairs. So that is how we they go for maintain sustainability.
Continue for the with at the studio, Hindilo Shaka, Director for Transport Infrastructure Development Unit at the Ministry of Transport and Aviation. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We just take this short commercial break.
Better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Your Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, na Salon for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all love but na Salon. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala Freetown Lone Star, we dey. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na Salon for me and you. Union Salon Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
We dey continue with the program. Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform, IGR, and Gulavali, where they talk about building resilience leadership in difficult transition. And later we'll talk about one documentary where IGR been same way so do and column Beyond the Noise. Mr. Lavali, we will talk about some of the issues them we come out from this report and some of the things them we wanna find out. We talk about tribalism. Way now one way plenty people believe say still they exist and don't be issues within the governance structure, because party A go come and say where this party come in governance now the young people them who then come out from the same region they able to get job them. Doing such reports, waiting now some of the reason them way una be able for discover say now then they lead way to some of them things here.
I think say na fear kinde people like can feel say, you know, are not able to win election by, you know, delivering results. But actually, if you deliver results, you can win elections. And this is not the tyranny of democracy. Democracy, waiting at the period they can give you 5 years. Some people can afraid say, if I say I improve education, it not going to be long enough for the election come. And I'm not going to win election because I don't just start education. So waiting they can normally do, let me start by counting myself. So that means that me own basically a whole lamb, because then they are sure of me 40%. Whatever they add now, na na bonus. So now that make, since independence, that strategy of tribe now one thing. But I think say underneath that, na the lack of desire for be accountable. Because say right now, and at this this beyond the noise actually touch on. You see people in the FET, if they say till President Nkrumah can account, you see some people in the talk say no, enough for doing. If they say President Bio, if somebody critique now like Lunge Bridge, he will say no, you not like development, you not like the government. So now citizens, they don't become divided into ethnic block, into ethnic camps, instead of really being citizens for demand the best for we. So underneath that, waiting they happen, you see say regimes, they're not can be accountable. So if you watch like waiting like inside beyond the noise, you go see say because of the lack of accountability for results, political parties are more accountable to political parties, or leaders are more accountable to political parties. So you see somebody they misperform, as long as in party wants them, he did it. Even if they do what people they want. Now yeah, for let education come to a rot, we get an education minister we sit down like for 10 years. With the people in the complaint, you see the university up, it actually go into a rot, but we not care. So that we didn't say tribalism is meant for serve a purpose. It meant for let people not accountable. So today if you pin box na McKinney, you know the results we go come out. If it's the pin box na Bo, you know the results will come out.
But how this go change where like the kind politics na Salon na the two major party them na the same people and no more all the time. People vote in, vote out, government in, government out. Now then two major political party, the SLPP and the APC go get for eventually kind power. By the way, how the politics are gonna the country, how this could change. Plenty people they say and say na politics of the seat, Salon politician and the pan.
It takes one person for doam than a President Bio. So
why you say na President Bio?
Because na in now get for doam. So we no go talk say no, the way they want to be they try they we went like people in the talk about tit for tat. It takes one person.
But then self get role for play.
Exactly. So we definitely will talk about the role of former President Nkrumah get for play. But President Bio now na in get for act like President Kaba.
President Bio don't dey in governance for over a year now.
Yes.
From the things then we don't dey happen. You feel say the will day from President Bio in your part for break this long roadway different politicians and don't they work?
Well, even if the will not there, we as citizens get for create the will.
How the citizen?
Not some of the actions they are what they do. So like me, let I just be personal for once. Me grew up in a Bio house, na my true John. So I get personal commitment for let President Bio deliver results. It has to take people in APC at the area every day they hear about NRM, they talk say we party get for be accountable. It has to take people in SLPP where they talk say we party in one country, one people, and we get for make sure say it becomes inclusive. Like for example, like what happen na Bo who hear violence. I don't know if not true, but I see police I see a posting where they go on WhatsApp where they say they invite party leaders them na police station. So we get for make clear demands, and one part the clear demands them now for separate party positions from political offices. If you want political office, go for political office. If you want party positions, go for party positions. We they see people like they use party position as a vehicle for letting them access political offices. But if you fuse the two, let's say for example, you now Secretary General of a political party, then you can't sit down on the scholarship board. What thing will happen? You go just give scholarship to your party because you loyal to them. It's difficult, but we get for we institutions are weak. But we get for push political parties and we get for support them, let them rise above the party and govern the nation.
Then people are really talk about say we get for because most times all Salon people of course not go able for take part by all team. We make them rely on the civil society organizations them. But as it is now, everybody know way a particular civil society talk, then go no send another link. So how the sheets go be clean, where the people and where the public have up to, then self get to side and link.
Exactly. So with time, people then get for really see what's not quality information. In fact, now make we produce beyond the noise. Beyond the noise, we see like then doctor they can call vaccination. Now vaccination in the sense that it immunize you for let you resist misinformation. Too often when people then they talk on the basis of waiting the one for let you support, not to waiting good for your country. So waiting we do inside beyond the noise. Now for talk say in all of this, now you're not the loser. Okay. So if civil society, waiting at civil society in role now for support citizens and viewpoints. So civil society in role now for empower citizens at all time. Sometimes not to for even talk for citizens, but you have to empower that person there for let that person there talk for himself.
All right. Continue for the with at the studio. Well, that's Nandola Valuena, Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform. We will come back to you. The program they continue. We look at one power headline story them. Inside one testimony at the Commission of Inquiry before Justice Bankole Thompson, the first-time Director General for NATCOM, Mohamed Bangra, don't testify before the Commission. Say now one board member and a NATCOM, Frank Manja, been the pressure for GTS company the contract for supervise the new building when NATCOM then the build now na Hill Station. We reporter Usman Kamara gets more on waiting happen at the Commission and he gonna report.
As the Commission of Inquiry still carry on, witness upon witness don't testify before different commissioner them, but waiting then sabi concerning projects and other thing them where the past governments been do. This being time, one witness named Mohamed Bangura, we are the first and Director General for the National Telecommunication Commission and serve the procurement chairman at NATCOM.
He was there, as one of the companies that submitted proposals for the consultancy services.
Mohamed Bangura, first and Director General for the National Telecommunication Commission and self-procurement chairman at NATCOM carry on say, even though he may get pressure, he don't agree.
Being chairman of the committee and him being personally introduced to you and then later realizing that he is the brother of the then president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, did that in any way affect you in making decisions?
Slowly and give us your answer. Very important question. You tell us now.
Well, I was very much insistent that we followed the due process. Being the brother of the president should not mean that he would be awarded the contract of TS and Co.
TS and Co.
Should not be awarded the contract purely because of his relationship with the president.
Even though all land challenger, according to Mohamed Bangura, first and Director General at NATCOM, he said he may able to look inside this company in profile for know whether this company gets the sabi.
Whatever information he gave us,
Thomas Kuroma gave us,
it should have to be followed up.
Should have to be followed up.
Followed up, and that involved also going through.
Going through what?
Going through the company's profile.
I didn't get that.
Going through the company's profile.
Company's profile. The company's profile.
Company's profile in terms of experience of similar work being done elsewhere.
The State Council inside this case, na lawyer Arubi Kowa and the lawyer for Momo Conte, first and chairman for NATCOM, and Mohamed Bangura, first and Minister of Information and Communication, when a basis of interest, the lawyer na Ade Macaulay, and Justice Bankole Thompson, do adjourn this case to Wednesday, July 10, 2019. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Usman Kamara, The reports.
GhanaSongs.org.
They causing confusion. But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look in block the way them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen, me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3x Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and a one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want you concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We continue with the program, and we still get Hindolo Shaka, Director of Transport Infrastructure Development Unit from the Ministry of Transport and Aviation. They look at the 50 bus them where government don't buy for school picking them all over the country. Mr. Shaka, let we look at the employment system for drivers them we get for the operate them bus there. Now council they in charge for employ the driver them or na the Ministry of Transport?
No, na council they provide the drivers. It just makes natural sense. If the bus they go, I like Krobola as an example because it's one of the farthest points from South Sudan. If the bus they run na Karine, for example, you need people that will local tow that for able for run the buses. That's why the Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation very heavy in terms of providing regional technical support and training. All of their drivers there, they be trained. And in fact, as a day we information don't reach me, so we they get I think two of the manufacturers from the manufacturers they come for do both in the technical maintenance training and the how for manage the buses. The manual for the buses we they use them for train the drivers and through SLRTC. So each council they send more than like double the number of the buses we go na that council so that we could train the drivers them for go back to them. But now then they recruit.
Earlier you say the school picking and the pay for them buses there, so
yes.
Almost come them for the expected and picking them for the pay for use the bus them.
All I go say at this stage, because they clearly that not be determined throughout yet, but you go pay less than what you they pay currently. And also law will take into consideration that the burden of school fees don't go and all the rest. We still want to continue for reduce the burden but maintain quality. You get for pay, but one thing will go assure you say on the route where you pay for you picking right now, you get for pay something less than that, but you, some form of payment get for day. Follow we keep them bus here on the road.
What's are the daily running costs for the bus them one are the already project?
Well, we not all do school buses as I say from now. We get data for public transport, but that data they not going to apply because the circumstances and context are different. The school bus they run based on school. So when school over, bus not get for them streets, and that is therefore be part of the contract they will design with the local council. Them bus are not for the council. Then 50 bus they will roll out. Now data and information real time would they collect. So when we start for scale up, say okay another 100 school bus for camp. Now they're in a better position because we don't get real-time data for match up in terms of which maybe they ask the consumption, fuel consumption, breakdown data, the attitude of drivers and picking them, and then improve on that. We use that as a feedback loop for let we improve on the school bus structured system as we roll them out.
Now, whose class school picking and the bus and the target? Because earlier you been mentioned say when I go for the giddy picking and card, they then go for the use. Yes. Now a system when I don't design. Now whose class of picking them on the targets?
Well, obviously again for be independent class person. Not to pick we need an we then get for a company to school.
As in class one picking and go for the go na the bus.
Yeah, you get for come at the bus stop and wait with the bus they pass. You go on board. So you no go get picking we need an accompanying adult accompany for go get na the bus because driver no get that time they for look after pikin.
So that means not for all the pikin as the public they perceive.
Well, as we dey start, yes, it can't accommodate pikin we not independent. I stress on that. Whether that class day, how we get for determine again, as I say, we dey in tune with the. I make the Minister of Education be there yesterday. We dey in tune with the Minister of Education, with the ministry and the local government and the local council. Some then determination, then we get 2 months for finalize them.
You say on they open an escrow account for put the money we get for the commot from the running of them bus there. Now council get for they in charge. This particular account, would I get for be signatory to her?
This discussion don't begin before now, and again, as I say, we get 2 months for finalize them. But the initial proposition is that we they get the ministry and the council for jointly administer their accounts here, so that we go get
so now
direct
the ministry
monitoring.
And council get for be signatory to this account.
Initially, yes, this is the discussion, and it hasn't been concluded. I should make that clear.
All right, continue for the between at the studio in the Loshaka. We'll come back to you. Let's just come over to the other studio guest, Wena and Wulavali. Now let we look at the documentary where Una and Una partner them pull na do this BNSM where Una name Beyond the Noise. Firstly, let we know why Beyond the Noise.
Because bokutin where they happen in not real and noise. The noise they make will not they focus on waiting matter to we. If you just fast the clock backwards, you go see Cambia some months ago, simple by-election when I for local council. One bobo the only bobo na that school, na that community they we don't pass for go GSS 1. Then shoot that bobo they die. But simple by-election. So with the fet for teen them, we not really need for fet for. God so bless we with everything. We know, because a lot of Sierra Leoneans they walk in top of dam or gold. But we so much they fet one another. And this fet they be because the one they within the fet, the one they within they kill, the one they within they stab, the politicians the way they did behind the way they support them, there is zero accountability. Nobody. We don't see down here, we don't see people that don't fet, electoral violence. They don't get commissions of inquiry reports. We don't see bokutin. Like the thing the way they happen now, there is zero accountability. Zero accountability for the police. Them way they go, they act unprofessional. Zero accountability for the politicians. The way they sponsor them. In the end, waiting they happen. Now the citizens and they lose. So beyond the noise, actually, they empower citizens. They say, we're not for always there on the losing end. We need for try for they in control. So now that we show steps then where they really clear the see the noise, and we show steps then where we go beyond the noise.
Not so today IGR begin for do reports them after every 3 months. People will hear from una. In most cases, if you go through the reports there, so when they talk about the issues, they at the end of the day on a prefer solution, just like what they talk about within the inside beyond the noise. But how then reports there and now I don't begin do documentary, how the people them able for embrace then reports there?
Rome was not built in a day. So, and to be fair to government, both President Nkrumah and President Bio in government, normally what they publish will report not to all things they throw. Not of us say like IGR now we get the solutions we don't have. What we can do, we they just dedicate ourselves for study something. And we publish, we report. And the way we measure we serve, not to the amount of noise we serve they create, but if we don't do reports, Lord say we count with 10 recommendations, they take 1 or 2 with the CC at least we don't contribute to the discourse. In fact, now that make even the office of the chief minister and that make with the talk say because now one office down the way for really uptick.
This administration, we really need the office of the chief minister or we need them, but for the out of state house, we need them at all.
I think say I don't know if because there's a difference between the office and the person. It's done. So you see like chief of staff, it actually come out kind of media, but it act now engine room person. So now we don't come to chief minister where it's a little different. I think so waiting at the problem what would they see, like we don't point out one, the inability for drive the state, for let the state focus on performance, we go make all in division and then problem we forget about them. So if we dey talk about going beyond the noise, now we actually need a state where they focus on wetin matter to Sierra Leone.
And quickly, let's just ask you this question, since we dey talk about the office of the chief minister here. Many people, if you look at discussion around the social media on several issues, many people believe see this particular office don't become too political. You certain audios or videos them when they come out, they see the chief minister, they talk about certain things, them giving job to people when them political party supporter them. If such things they happen at an office, we're supposed to be neutral and try for preach about accountability and good governance structure, how it affects governance system.
So me now for that I say that failure for promote results now they cause all of them because if you know if you not create that problem, Khadija, there will always, if you not create that situation, we say we talk say let's focus on waiting we need, waiting matter. It will always create problem. You know, people need technical space for let governance happen. After election done. Party politics really now we can't buy election. Election are just a vehicle. Political party are just a vehicle for let we elect the leaders they will want. After election, it done. SLPP, APC, they are all citizens who for focus on the delivery of the state. So for later on they happen, you actually need an office where they reduce the calm tensions down and marshal the society.
So this office only reduce or calm the tension?
Well, we not really critique that office there inside this report. Maybe in subsequent reports.
So personally, as a civil society.
Well,
activist.
I know where they talk as IGR, they talk on behalf of all of the colleagues, not personal.
All right.
But the reality is that in subsequent briefing, we actually get detailed information about maybe inside the biometer.
Continue for the between at the studio and we'll we will come back to now the program they continue. But let me just quickly listen to this music break.
Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
Indeed, I know say when I hear this song, and I know say somebody they celebrate in special day na the house. And today the person way na the head of marketing women say they go out for go fend the Lily couple for Radio Democracy and they celebrating birthday today. Not to no other person but Prince Wilson. One for wish on behalf of management and staff a happy birthday, and we pray that all your heart desires inside this new age you go able to get them. May God continue for guide you as you continue for do you work for fend money for Radio Democracy. Happy birthday once more, Prince Wilson, and don't forget at 12 when I can come around as always. We get forget Senam Godong at 12 for the birthday of Prince Wilson. Happy birthday once more.
Very, very many happy reasons. Ooh, yeah. I wish you a happy birthday. Ooh, yeah. Very, very many happy reasons.
We will continue the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. They look at more issues inside the program this morning. As the Salon Association of Journalists Large go get the general election July 13 this year, one party candidates them where they contest for the presidency position, Ahmed Said Nazgala say if he be the new president for SLAJ, he plan for improve journalism welfare and make sure say media house owner them improve journalism living condition. Ahmed Said Nazgala talk this where he be they launch a manifesto we call the SALT manifesto. Outside this manifesto they talk about how he plan for address the issue of gender mentorship and unity and self-independence for journalists them na the media. Princess Pias been day part of this manifesto launching and Egona report.
According to Sludge Constitution, say after every 3 years, then forget election, forget new executive, we go look inside journalists and challenge and issue them where then they get for do their work. Say election will be July 13th. For sake of this, plenty people don't declare for be president, vice president, financial secretary and national secretary general. Ahmed Said Nasrallah, now one of the candidates them, we declare for be president, where he launch in manifesto, where he called SALT's manifesto. He say he plans for improve the welfare and condition of living for journalists them if he be the president.
Consequently, the welfare needs of journalists and their conditions of service are challenging and growing. This is also having an impact on the quality of journalism in the country. My executive will look at journalists' welfare and working conditions from 2 angles, legal as well as economic. It is against the law for employers to pay their workers below the minimum wage. My executive will encourage media owners in the first place to set up a media owners association so that we can deal with them collectively and not as individual media owners. The SALT approach will be used to change the mindset of our journalists and our people and propel them back to look at the glass as being half full rather than half empty.
Ahmed Said Nasrallah end up say he go promote gender issue them and CFC say he push for the repeal of Part 5 of the criminal libel law. Inside their own talk, the 2 candidates them where they turn up for vice president, Esther Kagbo, when a station manager for SLBC Kenema, and Ahmed Sherif, outgoing regional secretary general, Eastern Region, then say any one of them will win, go make sure say they work with the president as way for push the work of Sludge go before.
Working with the president, I think as vice president, I have 2 key duties to perform. One, to be the key advisor to the president with regards welfare issues, with regards the running of the secretariat, with regards the issues that will make Sludge continue to be a very strong force, a force that any government or organization would like to reckon with.
I am looking at Sludge as an institution for all of us as a Sludge member. I have served in the Secretariat of Sludge Eastern Region for a very long time now, vying for the position of Vice President, simply because I know I have the capacity, I can do more than any other person else, because we must understand Sludge, it is a compressed association that needs somebody who has a wealth of experience to lead.
I've been talking with some journalists them, but waiting and think about the election and we get this for say.
They're happy for the electioneering fever and the campaign they go on, but however, I call to the 2 presidential candidates then as somebody with disability now that let them ensure say they make radio stations, television stations and newspaper houses very disability friendly. So let them ensure that the television stations the way they become. Let them get sign language interpreters for all the programs. The one themselves will get speech and hearing impairment will able to forget what they go on.
You know, Stephen Villansana, reporter from Premier Media, and also the part of the Monkey campaign team.
It shows they always seem we presidents to be. They preach about always seem now campaign messages in who ensure say we go do them all. The welfare of journalists is not secured.
Some media practitioner, some of the issues that way the monk raise up inside manifesto very timely, especially when you talk of rape, where you say they are against rape 100%, and they with the woman them inside the media. We the woman them inside the media don't say what we advocate. So if the monk win and become the next president for Sludge, we believe say it will tackle them, send the issue then they as we don't highlight inside manifesto.
Different journalists them they hope for say the new executive of Sludge promote good journalism and do what they don't promise for journalists them na the country. For Radio Democracy, Princess Pias the report.
Where you want long the bomb for them. I say from now on.
it look like that they begin drink all nine water constant. Now they come for think of it too. I don't know what they do them people are telling to the one for the girl fresh water to over. 9:40 they tell me they work about. I say it's a talk and go and come. Them people are not the same old fashion no more. I really say, I say Brenda to go it, I say Brenda boy. I say Brenda to go it, they don't come back. Now they will come for think of it at the boom. What's it in there and then you voice play? Now I think what did they do with that? I think that's important bad boy. And you don't begin blowing charging back. I think I make something that they say, what about that? They remember you say, age don't begin tell on I for you charge soon. Not that remember go for that. I say money no, I say money ma. I say I say I want you call for me the chair. Put on down, call the secretary and the secretariat of the law reform, put them down, tell them say na this the law say ma. I tell because it look like that man and somebody put teach them. Because when people waste the law, they make like they don't know the law. I don't begin tell you so. I say, me people let not grass feel I say the rain, the whole grass field. I don't know. Me, not your naive work about.
We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Quickly, we look at few messages where people don't send at the program this morning. The first one I go read, they say, I'm just wondering why the procurement of these buses is shrouded in secrecy. I would like to know the cost of each of the buses, and the procurement process should be made available to the public for scrutiny.
This one said, are there qualified and experienced mechanics to handle the maintenance of the buses?
This one is a good morning, Andrew. Thank you for touching on a very sensitive national cohesion point. President Bio has been presented with the best opportunity yet to unify Sierra Leone. Unfortunately, he is yet to take action in that regard because the rhetoric propagated prior to his ascension to the seat of authority was such that EBK and the APC were soon perpetual enemies. It is still not late, though, to take the right step and right the wrongs by calling on his supporters not to see the opposition APC as enemies, but competitors in the race to build Mama Salon.
The final one we are going to look at now because of time. The person said, I want to suggest for specific bus stops to be identified to avoid fraudulent stops for the school buses. Naja Batija had sent a message.
This one, they say, thanks to the new direction under the leadership of President Bio for transparency and accountability to Sierra Leoneans. Well, from their messages then we get a lot of messages, but we'll not get better time again at the program. We'll just take few. We can out to studio guest them, for let them go respond quickly. Mr. Indolo.
Yes, please. Yes, quickly, thanks to all the messages, but three they were pertain to me. The procurement process, the qualified mechanics, and whether in fact the bus stops them. The first one I be don't answer earlier on if the listener been listening, but still thank you for sending for that throw light again. Simply, I go repeat myself that the process was transparent, open, competitive tender. All the documents are there, and if you want to review that, you can come at the ministry. So the process was open, there was no secret about it. The second aspect, we're in a qualified trainers, then yes, we do have Sierra Leone Road Transport Corporation and Road Authority mechanics them. We don't handle buses. But in addition to the level of quality right now, We want for augment them by getting the manufacturers done for can train them specifically on these particular type of buses. So that will improve on them. And therefore, because the buses are new, all we expect within the next 24 months will be routine maintenances. Finally, on the aspect of the road stop, yes, with a signed contract with all local councils, part of it will be how the bus they engage and disengage. Not to all side this bus they get for the stop. They get designated bus stops when are the pupils they get for go, and then bus stops and they part of we project that we'll get for the public transport safe. We get for improve on them pedestrian walkways.
Bus here go the park like who say they sleep now morning then left these points for go collect his school picking them.
Well, all councils therefore arrange that, make that arrangement there. Say because buses then get for the come from opposite end. So if you say we get 25 naira, the one they left the east go they, the one they left the west go there. Now how they disperse within different routes, that they go be detailed later. But of course you get for cater for the broad spectrum of students. And again, at the stress on this point, Fambulem, this now 50 bus, it don't get for cover everybody right now. But we use them as a starting point for scale up eventually. So let that be clear. 50 bus can't solve all the school transportation problem, but it's a start towards the right direction.
I will be the talk. You talk more about the drivers, them how they go get for monitor them for ensure say they run them how now once for let they run the bus them. But what about the picking them? Because not to the first time this place Salon they get to school bus. I remember the time we said they go school bus them in day. But at the end of the day, we see how them be end up. Some then it cut them with blade. They sit them, then they cut them, and they not be the take care of the bus them. Waiting there for the picking.
Maybe a quick one, very well for that question, and we took that into consideration in the design of them buses here. If you look them buses here, what you do, make them seats robust without you, then get like plastic natured. So when you sit down there, you not go able to cut them with blade or what. If you soak, you know they smell because not to fabric like this. Because we know say na picking and get for sit on there, and then need this very strong you screwed so that you jump this if you not get for able for destroy them easily. Cool. But that not stop we and Khadija la just make this part of we feedback loop, and I go piggyback on waiting Mr. Lavali they say now waiting we don't call citizens engagement. One of the key things we get for rely on now the feedback structure we don't set in place for send text to the Ministry of Transport and Aviation about what you just observe the bus they do. We they create that, we they put that number out, we they create that avenue for a citizens engagement. For say, hey, I see this bus go take people and go now married or not and school bus will not be say. We want that information.
Mr. Indolo, all anything that we talk about, somebody go argue say you know new previous buses the way we don't need they even get number we write at the back of the bus so now WhatsApp number there. But yet the people they see them bus there so they load plazas from upline the canton. How una go ensure say una monitoring system really different from waiting be done in the transport sector?
Khadija, na time we not get for Lago structurally throughout all waiting we don't put in place from the aspect of the transport officers, from the aspect of we own routine checks on them buses here to what I mean by we own public citizens engagement, because you get an IT aspect of it where we they work on already, not for just school buses. We get for scale up for public transport buses as well. More buses than they can win than for public transport. So we they put system in place. We not ever this alone. We not a what you call a transport monitoring hub. Also you get screens then where they so they monitor any bus to we border points then at the country.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Indolo. Quickly, and we will not get enough time. You can just wrap up with the text messages.
Yes, thank you very much. Somebody talked about a lady responsibility of national cohesion squarely. Now President Bio in lap. I mean, whilst that can be true, we look at the politics of Sierra Leone. To President Bio no money for create conditions for the national cohesion be. And I want to take this opportunity for appeal to both the leadership of the SLPP and the APC. I mean, starting with the APC, the current chairman and leader, he gets a big role for play for let it create a foster conditions for let national cohesion be in Sierra Leone. There are things we do way good. There are mistakes we do way I mean, good. I think say always fine for law acknowledge that and then move on. When you go to Boku institutions, you get a lot of people angry in Boku institutions. I don't see some people then they come like new directors they wouldn't appoint. Some man they explain, say, for the past 8 years that this and this and this and this they don't do me. So you get anger in other institutions, and the best way which you would suggest inside will report now through performance-based systems, through result-based systems, and then I want to close with, we actually need a government machinery with a focus on performance, and it creates a fair opportunity for every Sierra Leonean we will play that role there for perform and deliver results for let it serve. I think so we get quite a lot, and there is an opportunity, there is a possibility for all to be happy. And we want for all work towards that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Andrew Lavalley, Executive Director, Institute for Governance Reform, IGR. They talk about one report where IGR pull and safe Beyond the Noise documentary with them pull this behind.
Go on our Facebook page for Beyond the Noise.
You did pay for the advert.
Thank you.
And also many thanks to Indolo Shaka, the Director of Transport Infrastructure Development Unit, the Ministry of Transport and Aviation. Many thanks to Ikan the program can explain about the 50 buses where government don't buy for school picking.
Thank you, Khadija, Mabel, and Fambule. Thank you.
Well, now they end the program Good Morning Salon for today on edition. Alex Lawrence Koma and Michael Sambola and then produced the program. DJ Ahmad Nangi with technical support. Moses Kavora and in team. Now they make on watch we live now Facebook page. So till we meet back, Mina Khadija Bangura, they say have a lovely day.
And Mabel Kabari say goodbye.